England, an island nation with a story as vast as its shores are long. A land where the waves have not only shaped the cliffs but also the destiny of its people. For thousands of years, this land has been shaped and reshaped by waves of settlers, conquerors, and innovators. Each wave brought new ideas, new cultures, and new ways of life, leaving an indelible mark on the fabric of the nation. From the ancient Celts to the modern-day Britons, the story of England is one of resilience, adaptation, and an enduring spirit. The people of this island have always found ways to thrive, no matter the challenges they faced. Our journey begins long before the island was known as England. It starts in a time when the land was wild and untamed, a canvas for the earliest inhabitants to leave their mark. The earliest inhabitants, the Celts, left their mark on the land with their unique culture and traditions. They built roundhouses, crafted intricate jewelry, and held festivals that celebrated the cycles of nature. These tribes, with names like the Britons and the Gaels, lived across the island, their lives intertwined with the rhythm of nature. They hunted, farmed, and worshipped the natural world, creating a harmonious existence with their surroundings. Then, in 43 AD, a new chapter began. The island's tranquility was disrupted by the arrival of a formidable force from across the sea. Roman legions, led by Emperor Claudius, landed on the shores, bringing with them the might of the Roman Empire. They came with advanced technology, military prowess, and a vision of expansion. Thus began the Roman occupation of Britain, a period that would leave an indelible mark on the island's culture, language, and very landscape. The Romans built roads, forts, and cities, laying the foundations for modern England. Their influence can still be seen today in the ruins that dot the countryside and the words that linger in the English language. The Romans brought with them their language, Latin, which infused itself into the Celtic tongues. Even today, echoes of Latin can be found in the English language, a testament to the enduring legacy of Roman rule. They also brought their gods and goddesses, their myths and legends, adding new layers to the cultural tapestry of Britain. However, Roman Britain was not all peace and prosperity. Tribes resistant to Roman rule rose up in rebellion. Perhaps the most famous of these was led by the warrior Queen Boudicca, who fought fiercely against the Roman legions. Despite her bravery, Boudicca's rebellion was ultimately crushed. The Romans remained firmly in control of Britain for centuries, leaving a lasting impact on the island's development. But by the 5th century AD, the Roman Empire itself was crumbling. Their legions were recalled from Britain, leaving the island vulnerable to new arrivals. As the Roman Empire waned, new peoples began to arrive on Britain's shores. From across the North Sea came the Angles, Saxons, and Jutes, Germanic tribes seeking new lands and opportunities. These Anglo-Saxons, as they became known, established kingdoms across the island, gradually pushing back the native Britons. The Anglo-Saxons brought their own languages, customs, and traditions. They were skilled seafarers and warriors, and their culture became the dominant force in much of Britain. It was during this period that the name England emerged, derived from Angleland, the land of the Angles. However, the Anglo-Saxons were not alone in their ambitions. From the north came fearsome raiders, the Vikings. Hailing from Scandinavia, the Vikings were renowned for their longships and their prowess in battle. They plundered coastal settlements and ventured inland, striking fear into the hearts of the Anglo-Saxons. The year 1066 marks a pivotal turning point in English history, the Norman Conquest. This event not only changed the course of English history but also had a profound impact on the cultural and social fabric of the nation. William the Conqueror, Duke of Normandy, laid claim to the English throne and set sail with an army to enforce his claim. His determination and strategic prowess were evident as he prepared his forces for the monumental task ahead. The Battle of Hastings, depicted vividly in the Bayeux Tapestry, saw William's Norman forces triumph over the English, led by King Harold. This battle was not just a clash of armies, but a decisive moment that would shape the future of England. William's victory had profound and lasting consequences. His coronation as King of England marked the beginning of a new era, one that would see significant changes in governance, culture, and society. Norman rule brought about a transformation of English society, language, and culture. The Normans introduced new architectural styles, administrative systems, and cultural practices that would leave an indelible mark on England. French, the language of the Norman court, became the language of the elite, influencing the development of the English language and adding a wealth of new vocabulary, while English continued to be spoken by the common people. This linguistic divide highlighted the social stratification of the time, with the nobility and commoners living in distinct linguistic worlds. Over time, a new language, Middle English, emerged from this fusion. This hybrid language would eventually become the foundation of modern English, blending elements of both Old English and Norman French. The Normans also introduced a new system of feudalism, which restructured the social and economic landscape of England. This system created a hierarchy of lords and vassals, with land ownership and loyalty at its core. A social hierarchy with the king at its apex. This centralized system of governance allowed for more efficient control and administration of the realm. They built castles, grand cathedrals, and established a more centralized system of government. These structures not only served as fortifications and places of worship, but also as symbols of Norman authority and power. The Norman conquest marked the end of the Anglo-Saxon era and the beginning of a new chapter in English history. This transition was not just a change in rulers, but a transformation that would influence the very identity of England for centuries to come. As centuries passed, the Norman grip on power began to loosen. In 1215, a group of rebellious barons forced King John to sign a document that would have far-reaching consequences, the Magna Carta. This great charter affirmed the rights of freemen, limited the king's power, and established the principle that even the monarch was subject to the law. Though intended primarily to protect the privileges of the barons, the Magna Carta came to be seen as a cornerstone of English liberty. Its principles of due process, habeas corpus, and the rule of law would resonate through the centuries, influencing the development of constitutional government in England and beyond. The signing of the Magna Carta marked a crucial step in the gradual shift of power from the monarchy to the people. It laid the groundwork for the development of Parliament, a representative body that would play an increasingly important role in English governance. The Tudor dynasty, which came to power in 1485 with Henry VII, ushered in an era of significant change and upheaval. This period marked the end of the Wars of the Roses, a series of civil wars for control of the throne of England, and the beginning of a new era of stability and centralized power. Henry VII's reign laid the foundation for a powerful monarchy that would shape the future of England. Perhaps the most dramatic transformation was the English Reformation, initiated by Henry VIII's break with the Roman Catholic Church. This monumental shift was not just a religious reformation, but also a political revolution that altered the course of English history. Henry VIII's decision to break away from the Pope's authority was driven by both personal and political motives. Henry's desire for a divorce from Catherine of Aragon, which the Pope refused to grant, led him to declare himself supreme head of the Church of England. This bold move allowed him to annul his marriage and marry Anne Boleyn, but it also set a precedent for the monarch's control over religious matters in England. This break with Rome had profound religious and political implications. It led to the establishment of the Church of England, which was free from papal authority and under the control of the English crown. The Reformation also sparked a series of religious reforms and conflicts that would continue to shape English society for generations. Monasteries were dissolved, their wealth seized by the crown. This not only increased the royal treasury, but also reduced the power of the Catholic Church in England. The dissolution of the monasteries was a significant step in the redistribution of wealth and land, which had far-reaching economic and social consequences. Religious authority shifted from the Pope to the English monarch, and the Church of England became a powerful force in its own right. The monarch's control over the Church meant that religious and political power were closely intertwined, leading to a more centralized and authoritative government. The Tudor period also saw England emerge as a major naval power, with explorers like Sir Francis Drake circumnavigating the globe. The expansion of the Navy and the exploration of new territories were crucial in establishing England as a formidable maritime nation. This era of exploration and naval dominance laid the groundwork for the British Empire. The reign of Elizabeth I, Henry VIII's daughter, is often seen as a golden age, marked by relative stability, economic prosperity, and a flourishing of arts and culture. Elizabeth's reign brought about a sense of national pride and identity, and her leadership was instrumental in navigating the complex political landscape of the time. It was during Elizabeth's reign that William Shakespeare penned his immortal plays, solidifying England's place in world literature. The Elizabethan era saw a remarkable outpouring of creativity and innovation in the arts, with Shakespeare's works being a prime example of the cultural renaissance that defined this period. His plays continue to be celebrated and performed around the world, a testament to the enduring legacy of the Tudor dynasty.